I guess the warning signs were there, but I chose not to see them. My wife had been spending an increasing amount of time with her friend Audrey. I never liked Audrey. She was loud, reckless, and had a new man on her arm every other week. To me, she was the definition of unstable. But despite my unease, I never once asked my wife, Linda, to distance herself. Maybe that was my first mistake. Linda and I had built what I thought was a stable life. We'd been married for 17 years, raising two wonderful kids, our daughter Tanya, 15, and our son Clay, 13. We had the house in the suburbs, two decent cars, and careers that supported us well. Linda worked at a medical clinic, and I made good money selling computer software. From my side, everything seemed ideal. That illusion shattered one Friday evening. I came home after a long week at work, only to find Linda and Audrey sitting at our kitchen table. Audrey wore that smug, self-satisfied smirk she always had, while Linda looked uneasy. It was subtle, but I caught it. Something was definitely wrong. "Hey, sweetheart," Linda greeted, rising from her chair to kiss me. "Hi, honey," I replied, setting down my briefcase and giving her a warm hug. I offered Audrey a curt hello and turned to head upstairs. "I'm going to get changed real quick," I said. Linda paused. "Would you like a coffee?" "Audrey and we'd like to talk to you when you come back down." Something about the way she said it sent a chill down my spine. I glanced at Audrey, who was still wearing that smug grin. Whatever they had to say, I had a feeling it was going to be the kind of conversation that could change everything. It only took me a few minutes to swap my suit and tie for a pair of slacks and a polo shirt. When I stepped back into the kitchen, I noticed the coffee already sitting in front of my chair. Audrey was whispering to Linda. It almost sounded like she was coaching her. They didn't even notice me until I was across the table. I sat down, took a sip, and looked at both of them. "All right, what's going on? What is this about?" Linda hesitated. Her mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. Audrey nudged her gently and said, "Go ahead. He loves you. He'll understand." Linda lowered her gaze, avoiding eye contact like it burned. "Honey," she began in a fragile voice, "you know I love you so much. So please don't take this the wrong way, but I'd like to go on a few dates with Audrey. Not often, just once in a while." I blinked, unsure if I'd heard her right. "Dates?" I asked, trying to stay calm. "What exactly do you mean by that? Are you talking about sleeping with other men?" Before Linda could answer, Audrey jumped in. "It doesn't mean she doesn't love you, Robert. It's just sex. It doesn't have to mean anything." I was going to shut her down, but I wanted to see how deep this insanity went. "She told me besides you, she's only been with one other man her entire life. That's crazy. I mean, come on, Robert. You've probably been with way more women. She deserves to have a little fun too." I turned back to Linda, my face tight with disbelief. "So, sex with me isn't fun?" Linda finally lifted her eyes. I was doing everything I could to keep the pain off my face. "I didn't say that," she said, but again, Audrey interrupted. "Men and women are different," Audrey continued. "She just needs some variety, that's all. There are lots of husbands who love their wives enough to let them explore a bit. It doesn't mean she's cheating, it's just harmless fun." Then came the kicker. Linda and I also agreed it's only fair. You could have a little fun on the side too, if you wanted. I looked back at my wife. For the first time, I saw something other than hesitation. Regret. Maybe fear. Maybe the realization that this was spiraling out of control. "I see," I said quietly. I could feel the sting building behind my eyes, but I refused to let the tears fall. "Not yet. Audrey," I said, standing. "Would you mind sticking around for a while longer? I want to talk more when I get back." She gave me a smug smile. "Of course." Linda finally found her voice again. "Where are you going?" "I'll be back soon," I said. I didn't give her an answer, because I had one of my own to write. I walked into my home office and closed the door behind me. Ever since I was a kid, I'd dealt with problems head-on. I didn't shy away from confrontation. I believed in clear boundaries and direct action. That night, I didn't just want to speak my mind. I wanted it in writing. I sat at my desk, opened a blank document, and began typing. "Dear Linda, I never imagined the woman I love with all my heart could hurt me this deeply. When you told me you wanted to have sex outside our marriage, something inside me broke. I don't doubt Audrey is the driving force behind this idea, but the fact that you agreed with her has already wounded our marriage more than you know. To be clear, any sexual interaction, whether with a man or a woman, will be seen by me as a betrayal. That includes any form of physical or oral intimacy. If you go through with this, if you follow this destructive path, here is exactly what will happen. First thing Monday morning, I will file for divorce. I will personally inform our families and close friends about the reason behind my decision. I will sit down with Tanya and Clay and tell them why their parents are separating. I will investigate every name involved. If you sleep with a married man, I will inform his wife. I will show no sympathy for him or for the damage it causes to his home. Once this divorce process begins, there will be no turning back. Though we'll always be connected through our children, I will emotionally and permanently sever all other ties. That's what will happen if you choose to go through with this. However, if you want to stay married, truly stay married, then there will be conditions. You are to end your friendship with Audrey immediately. No texts, no calls, no contact of any kind. You will move your belongings into the guest room and sleep there until I decide otherwise. You will schedule a full STD screening. Until I have those results in my hands, I will not share a bed with you. You will allow me to install a GPS tracker in your car. I will monitor it whenever I choose, and you will answer any questions about your whereabouts without resistance. You will agree to marriage counseling weekly until further notice. If you meet these terms, I will try to forgive you. But rebuilding trust will be a slow process, and I make no promises beyond the effort. This choice is yours, Linda. But know this, I won't beg, and I won't negotiate. I pray you choose wisely. Still yours, but deeply hurt. Robert. I printed several copies of the letter. I included a carbon copy for Audrey. Then I addressed 3 envelopes to Linda's parents, my parents, and our attorney, and sealed the letter inside each one. Finally, I made 2 more copies for those I referred to as co-conspirators. As I left my office, both women turned to look at me. I held up the letters. I'll be right back, I said calmly. Just need to drop something off at the mailbox. The mailbox? Linda asked, puzzled. But I was already halfway out the door. I walked to the end of the block and slipped the envelopes into the mailbox. It felt final. It felt necessary. When I got back home, Linda and Audrey were still sitting stiffly on the couch, whispering. Without a word, I handed each of them a folded copy of the letter. Linda looked down at it, confused. What's this? I've made my position clear, I said flatly. Everything you need to know is written right there. I didn't want anything to get lost in translation. Both women slowly began to unfold the letters. I kept my eyes on Linda, watching her reaction line by line. It didn't take long. Her eyes filled with tears as she read. Audrey, on the other hand, exploded. You bastard, she shouted, slamming the letter down. What kind of control freak are you? What gives you the right? Shut up, Linda snapped, yanking her hand away from Audrey's grip. He's my husband, and I love him. You don't get to call him names in my home. Audrey looked stunned. I want you out, Linda said, rising to her feet. Out of this house. Out of my life. I should never have listened to you. She grabbed Audrey by the arm and marched her to the door. This is goodbye, she said firmly, voice shaking. You nearly destroyed my marriage. Don't call me. Don't text me. Stay away. And with that, she slammed the door in her so-called friend's face. Tears were rolling freely down Linda's cheeks as she turned back to me. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't mean to hurt you. I swear, I haven't done anything. I'll take the test, whatever you want. Just please, tell me you can forgive me someday. I know it won't happen overnight, but I want to fix this. I sighed and nodded slowly. I can't promise forgiveness, Linda. Not yet, but I'll try. Just know, one mistake, one lie, even standing in the same room with someone naked, and we're done. I understand, she said softly. I really do. I only want you, Robert. I was so stupid. But now I know, I never wanted anyone else. That night, I helped her move her clothes into the spare bedroom. We told the kids we'd had a disagreement and needed space. They were suspicious, but didn't push. Not yet. The next morning, I went out and bought a GPS tracker. Without telling Linda, I installed it in her car that Sunday. I also picked up a simple phone recording device, one that plugged directly into a wall jack and recorded all inbound and outbound calls in the house. When the line disconnected, the recording stopped. I hid it behind my filing cabinet in the office. I didn't want to spy on my wife, but I couldn't ignore what had already happened. Linda worked only 4 days a week, Tuesdays through Fridays, which meant she had Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. That Monday, I watched her location on my laptop all day at work. Aside from a short trip to the grocery store around 10 a.m., the car never moved. Still, I couldn't relax. That night, I came home and found her cooking dinner, the kids doing homework at the kitchen table. "Hi, honey," she said brightly, walking over to greet me. I turned my cheek when she leaned in for a kiss. Her smile faltered. "Can we talk later tonight? After the kids are asleep?" My heart jumped in my chest. "Yeah," I said, trying to keep my tone even. After dinner, I helped the kids with a few things and told them I needed to finish some work. Once behind my office door, I pulled out my headphones and plugged them into the recorder. The first call nearly stopped my heart. It was Audrey. "Hey, girlfriend. Is he at work? Can you talk?" Linda's voice came through, cold and sharp. "Audrey, I was serious the other day. Don't call me again. We're not friends anymore. Don't you get that?" "Oh, come on, Linda. I didn't think Robert would react like that. I didn't mean to mess things up. I don't care. The very first thing Robert demanded was that I cut ties with you. I'm not messing this up. If you contact me again, I swear I'll tell everyone how you tried to sabotage my marriage. Don't test me." Click. The line went dead. My chest loosened slightly. Maybe there was hope. Not long after the Audrey call, the next one came in, and this one was from Linda's parents. "Hello." Linda answered, her voice cautious. She clearly thought it might be Audrey again. "Linda, we just got a strange letter from Robert," her mother said, her tone tense. "What is going on?" There was a pause, then a deep sigh from Linda. "Hi, Mom. Yeah, I made a really big mistake." "A mistake?" her mom repeated, confused. "Did you actually tell Robert you were going to cheat on him?" "Well, it wasn't exactly like that," Linda replied hesitantly. "You know Audrey? She sort of talked me into something stupid. She made it sound like I was missing out on fun. She introduced me to a friend of hers, Betty, who's married and apparently dates other men with her husband's blessing. Audrey said Robert would probably be okay with it too, if he really loved me." At that moment, her dad's voice jumped in through the receiver. "What the hell is wrong with you, Linda? Is this what we raised you to be? Someone who cheats on her husband? I'm ashamed of you. We both are." I could hear Linda starting to cry. "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. I know I've hurt Robert, and now I've hurt you and Mom too. I don't know what I was thinking." Her father's voice softened slightly. "I hope to God you told him you'll follow the rules he laid out." "Yes," Linda said, sniffling. "I already cut Audrey out. I told her never to call me again. I'm going to get tested, somewhere out of town. I don't want anyone at work knowing. And I'm going to be the best wife I can be. I know how lucky I am that he didn't just leave." The call ended with all three of them in tears. But it wasn't over yet. The final call came from Linda to my mother. The next voice I heard through the recording was Linda's. She was calling my mom. "Hi, Mom," she said softly. "Linda. Hi, honey. It's so good to hear from you. How's everything?" Linda hesitated. "Have you gotten Robert's letter yet?" "No," my mother replied, her voice shifting immediately to concern. "Why? Is everything all right? Are the kids okay? Is Robert okay?" "They're fine," Linda assured her. "Robert's fine too. It's me. I did something really, really stupid. And it's hurting our marriage." My mom's voice turned sharp with panic. "What happened?" Linda took a deep breath. "I told Robert the first wanted to go on dates with other men." There was stunned silence. "You what?" my mother gasped. "It was dumb, I know. I let a friend get into my head. She made it all sound harmless. Fun. Like something exciting I was missing out on. She even brought in a married woman who told me her husband lets her go out and sleep around, and that it made their marriage stronger." "You're married, Linda," my mom said, voice breaking. "She's single, and that's a huge difference. I can't believe you listened to that garbage." "I know," Linda replied, already sobbing. "It was so stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't cheat, I swear. But I told Robert the first wanted to, and that was bad enough." "Did he leave you?" my mom asked in a low, shaken voice. "No, but he gave me an ultimatum. Cut her out of my life. Forget the whole thing, or we divorce. He sent that letter to everyone. My parents, you and Dad, and even our attorney. My folks already got theirs. I wanted to call and try to soften the blow before you get yours." My mother didn't say much after that. I could hear her crying. "I don't know what to say, Linda," she finally whispered. "I hope for your sake Robert still loves you. Because if I had ever done something like that to Bryce, I'd have been out of the house with a suitcase and no return ticket." "I know," Linda cried. "I nearly lost him. But I'm going to do everything in my power to make it right. Every single day." By the time the call ended, both of them were in tears, and I sat in my office quietly wiping my own eyes. That night, after the kids had gone to bed, Linda and I sat down on the couch. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Her eyes were puffy, her hands clenched in her lap. "I talked to our parents today," she began, voice low. "Mine already got your letter. And boy, they let me have it." She gave a small, dry laugh, but there was no humor in it. "Your mom and dad hadn't received it yet, so I called to explain before it arrived. I thought maybe it would soften the blow. I should have thought to do that with my own parents too." Her eyes shimmered with fresh tears. "Everyone's hurt, disappointed, angry. I don't blame them. I'm disappointed in myself." She took a breath, then added, "Don't get mad." But Audrey called again. I think she thought I was bluffing when I said we weren't friends anymore. I raised an eyebrow. "I told her again," Linda said quickly. "I told her if she ever contacts me again, I'll tell everyone how she tried to ruin my marriage. I don't think she'll risk it. She doesn't have many friends left. And honestly, she shouldn't." Even though I'd already heard the call myself, I appreciated her honesty. I gave her hand a small squeeze. "Thanks for telling me." The next week, Linda went to an out-of-town clinic and got tested for STDs. I didn't truly believe she'd cheated, but after everything that had happened, I needed confirmation. All results came back negative. 3 months later, I let her back into our bedroom. At first, intimacy felt awkward, like we were relearning each other. But Linda was patient. She never pressured. She was kind, attentive, and above all, consistent. In time, our connection rekindled, and, ironically, our love life became stronger than it had been in years. We also started marriage counseling. Week after week, Linda faced everything head-on. Every lie Audrey and her friend Betty had planted, every false idea of freedom that nearly tore us apart. Even Betty's husband, who supposedly encouraged the open marriage. Our therapist believed he had hoped to sleep with Linda himself. I've thought more than once about tracking that guy down and giving him a piece of my mind. It's been over a year since that night, the night everything nearly collapsed. And though Linda hasn't given me a single reason to be suspicious since, I still check the GPS now and then. I still glance at her call logs from time to time. Not out of spite, but because once that seed of doubt is planted, it never fully dies. She understands. She doesn't fight it. In fact, she welcomes my vigilance. She knows it's the price of nearly breaking us. And I can tell, every day, that she's committed to earning back my trust. We still go to counseling, though not as often. We've reached a better place. Stronger in some ways. A little more fragile in others. That vulnerability keeps us honest. Next month, we'll be attending her parents' 50th wedding anniversary celebration. As we prepare for it, I find myself reflecting about our journey, about the cliff we stood on, about the love that somehow didn't fall over the edge. 31 years and 3 months from now, I hope we'll be celebrating our own 50th anniversary. If we do, it won't be because we never stumbled. It'll be because we fought like hell to stand back up. If you found this story powerful, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more real-life dramas and emotional journeys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Your support means the world. Thank you for watching.